Right. Okay. Well, nobody else has joined us, so hopefully people will drop in as we proceed. Well, a very very good morning to you all. A very warm welcome to another in our webinar series, where we are privileged to be joined by members of overseas chambers to talk about what's going on in their country. And today, of course, is India and trading with India through a pandemic and beyond. My name is John Woodruff. I'm Business Support Manager at Herts Chamber of Commerce, working on various areas, including exports. So if you've got any export queries, then please don't hesitate to put them towards me, and we'll do our best to answer them. The session will be recorded today, and we're about to hear the presentation. After it, we'll have time for a Q&A, so please, if anybody's got any questions, it's your opportunity. And while our speaker is actually talking, if you've got any questions, any burning thoughts at all, please pop them down on the chat and I'll pick those up as well. So you can do that so you don't forget, as I think it's the best way forward. I'll stop now. It's my great privilege to introduce Siddharth Mukne, who is the Associate Director of the UK India Business Council, who's going to tell us all about India for the next half an hour or so. Siddharth, over to you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John, our listeners, for organizing this event. Much appreciated. Good morning, all, and thank you for joining us. So, in this in this session, I'm going to talk about obviously about India, but I would like to talk about give this kind of snapshot of different aspects of what's happening in India and how to engage with Indian market. So, without further ado, let's start with the biggest issue we all going through and what is happening in India at the moment, which is COVID-19. So want to give a quick update about the situation in India. So as you know that there's cases been quite a lot in India, was almost second in the COVID cases as well as deaths after the US. So almost the 10.5 million cases found and almost 150,000 deaths happen in India. So these are which are the different state has got the had a severe impact because of this situation. But the positive news is that if you see now the things are looking quite good at the moment in India. The surge has gone down significantly as far as cases and also in the deaths. The number of deaths happening in India has been reduced significantly, which is a good news. And even though the cases are still high, but if you see the recovery rate is almost quite significant, is almost 97%. So which is very good news as far as India is concerned. But it is quite obvious because India is such a hugely populated country, almost 1.37 billion population. So to control that population and to bring that under the controls is very challenging, but they have managed really well so far. The other important thing which has about India is they are now two locally made, the spelling mistake about my coronavirus vaccines are ready for rollout. In fact, today itself only that first lot has gone to Delhi, and these two the manufacturing plants are in India. One is Serum Institute. They have developed the Covishield vaccine in association with AstraZeneca and Oxford University, as we all know that. And there is another local manufacturer, Bharat Biotech, and their Covaxin as well also been approved by the Indian government. So, and Indian government is planning to give the vaccine to almost 300 million people by July, the coming July. So there's a lot of challenges going forward, but they are really determined to get the things on track as soon as possible. Now coming back to that, how the economic overview and situation in India, the now and the after the COVID is over. So even if you before the COVID last year, you can see that Indian economy was really booming, and there's a lot many the opportunities been created, and suddenly these things happen. But the inflow of the foreign direct investment is continued to go to India, which is a pretty good news. The India's economy has always done well, almost 7% for last 10 years on average, and then expected to grow almost 8.8% next year as well. In ease of doing business, you can see that India was around 142 in ranking among 189 nations in 2014. Now India is now 63 the last year. So it's a huge jump in ease of doing business ranking, and the government is planning to bring the India under top 50, and which is really quite possible will happen actually very soon. Foreign direct inflow has increased significantly in India since last few years, and now the target is 75 billion the pounds by 2025. Another thing, because of this economy is doing so well, that per capita income has increased significantly. So if you see compared to in 2013, it was almost 1,150 pound. Now it is almost 1,700 pound till last year. Then another most important aspect is the online market. That's why the online platforms like Amazon and Flipkart, they are doing really well. So you can see there are 630 million internet users till last year in India. It's quite a, and it's increasing. In fact, to give the specific number, there are almost total, in just compared to the mobile users, there are around 450 million mobile smartphone users in India and 50 million tablet users. So you can see it's quite the mind-boggling numbers, and they are growing significantly every day. Another aspect is that now the development is happening outside of India as well, outside of metropolitan cities. And now that's why you can see that in 2012, there are 52 cities had almost 1 million population, because most of the population was going to the metropolitan cities for the jobs and to do the business. But now the development is happening in rural regions and urban second tier and third tier cities as well. Now by 2025, there are 69 cities will have more than million population. And then foreign exchange reserve has as well increased significantly. It has touched 330 billion last year. So in what happened in last year and what's happening now? So last year was a little bit towards the end. It was India's economy was a bit down, almost 4.2%, and this year the India is not immune, so the economy gone down significantly. But compared to in quarter 3 last year, the GDP growth the contracted to minus 24%. Now it is minus 7.7%. So they have picked up very well as far economy is concerned. And now the IMF is predicting that India's economic growth for the next year, or probably 2021 next second part, is around 8.8%, which is quite highest in the world. So things are going very positive direction overall. The economic impact is concerned. So the more foreign direct investors coming to the India, and these are the major. You can see the pie chart where the investment is coming to India, mainly as services, which is dominated almost 17.4%. Then computer software, telecom, trading. But these are the only big numbers. But I think there is opportunity across the sector. So this is not limited to these only sectors, but it need to understand, and that's what we're going to talk about, that how we should think about India, engaging with India and get the benefit and the opportunities available in India. As we all know that global foreign direct inflow has contracted for significantly, but considering but India's market is quite resilient, and their economy is planning to grow slowly and steadily. So that's looking pretty good, and the scenario at the moment. Just to give into more details now, India attracted global foreign direct investment worth around 51 billion in 2019. And if you remember that in my first slide, I showed that by 2025, they are targeting 75 billion. So they are very much on their target compared, and India's share in global foreign direct investment improved to 3.3% over the in 2019. So the things are going in the right direction and moving. So yes, there is a bit setback because of this pandemic, but I think is they are targeting to grow the economy as fast as possible. As I'm already mentioned to you that how that ease of doing business graph has changed significantly as far as India is concerned. There's a lot of initiative has been taken by the Indian government and the central government, state government to improve the environment and to make the business friendly environment in India, and that has reflected in their rise in ease of doing business. So why India? Why we should think about India? So can you see that this is clearly like many countries in one country? That you can see that how big the consumer base in India is, and that's why in one go you are targeting so many different states which are like a countries, and that's why the great opportunities has been created. And that's what we need to think about is that it's kind of there are almost 27 states and 9 union territories. It's just like Europe. So you are in one go, you are entering to Europe, and that's why there's a huge consumer base are waiting and to trying to get the different products and services at their doorstep. Why export it to India? So as I already mentioned to you that India is the fastest growing large economy in the world. Their average growth for last 10 years is 7% and more. And the most important thing is that growth is largely driven by domestic demand and fueled by rapidly growing middle class. So middle class growing is very fast in India. There are around 450 million middle class the population at the moment, and they are growing. So there are three drivers for the growth. One is emerging consumers. As I mentioned to you that India's population is quite large, but it's out of the 1.3 billion population, 52% population is less than 24 years old, and 65% population is less than 35 years old. So it's quite a young country, and that's why I think their income is rising, and as I've already mentioned to yeah, that their middle class is growing rapidly, and now they are adopting Western lifestyle. So they, as you know, that most of the Indian going abroad has increased significantly, and they now very much aware that what is available in different parts of the world, and they like to experience and get those products and services at their doorstep. So there is a lot of the change in mindset. Just for the example, when I was living in India almost in 90s, and that time the Kellogg's wanted to enter into the Indian market, but they completely failed because the Indian breakfast habit was completely different. But now they are a big success. So lifestyle had changed, and the people are now adapting the different products and services. So there is a huge market is across the sectors. The second driver is the emerging regions. So already mentioned to you now that the more development is happening in the second tier and third tier cities, and that's why where the now new smart cities are coming up, and that's why there's a lot of opportunities being created in the rural and the urban area. The other aspect is that now the central government has given the more power to the state governments. So they have got the more share in the central taxes, and they say also there's more control to attract more foreign direct investor. So lot many the states are engaging with different countries and just going and asking them to what they can provide and what they can how they can help to foreign direct investor to come to their states and their regions. So they are giving lot many facilities and benefits to engage with those states. The third driver is the emerging sectors. So there's as I already mentioned to you, that there's a opportunity across the sectors, and government also have shown that kind of intention because they have liberalized many sectors now. Initially, they have which had the restrictions like the food and drink or retail or the insurance or defense. So our energy sector now they can enter into India market with 100% automatic route or medical devices. So there are different sectors now has got the they've been liberalized by the government, and there's created the opportunity for the UK businesses. Another aspect is that under the initiatives of by Indian government, they have started the campaign like Make in India, Digital India, Skill India. So Make in India particularly, which I will discuss in more details later stage, which is creating the opportunity for small companies to engage with Indian market. So which are the rising sectors in India? So just wanted to give you the brief. This where before the COVID happened, before the March, but things have not changed significantly since then as well, because these are the essential sectors which has got the huge requirement, but is not limited to for only for these sectors. There, as I'm already mentioned to you, there is this opportunity across the sectors. But just let's touch base on these particular sectors. The food and drink, as you know, there's a huge market size, 308 billion, and the growth is almost 18 to 20%, and it will continue to grow for next 5 years. And there are different reasons for that: rising urbanizations, which I already mentioned to you, changing lifestyles, their increased global exposure, and their increased disposable income. So, as I already we covered this aspect, that is creating the great opportunity for the food and drink sector. Another important aspect of the sector is advanced manufacturing. Indian government is very much focusing to the engage with this sector and working with the foreign direct investor, and they're creating a lot of opportunities for the in these particular sectors. And you can see there are different subsectors like automotive, aerospace, defense, pharmaceutical. There are various reasons actually is for that. As I mentioned to you that India's half of the population is less than 24 years old. So to provide, create, and the creating the campaign of Skill India and Make in India. But one side there's very dynamic, energetic workforce is available, but other side there is a lot of challenge to provide the jobs. And this advanced manufacturing sector and the advanced engineering sector can create those jobs for these youths, and that's why this is very attractive the sector for India as well as for the foreign direct investor. Healthcare sector is a very large sector in India, and we all know that this is more important than ever. And India as well in the same situation. Frankly speaking, India didn't give much attention to the sector for a long time. They spend only 1% or not even 1% of their GDP growth. But they have to come to the realization now that how important the sector is, and they're looking forward to invest in this healthcare infrastructure significantly. And there's a lot of opportunities has been created. Apart from the healthcare sector is almost 75% revenue in this sector coming from the private hospitals. And that's why and there's 25% from the state-run hospitals and other areas. The fourth sector is important is energy and sustainability. This India is the world third largest consumer of energy. There's a lot of noise and the requirement first going about the renewable energy, and there's for solar, wind, so different kind of energy, hydro energy, so requirement in India. And under the Paris Agreement, Indian government has the agreed to reduce the carbon footprint by 2035 significantly. So these are the key good sectors. Coming to the service sector is that digital technology is another. We all know that everybody is now dependent on this technology, so as India. But there's a lot of shopping and other areas going through this digital technology in India at the moment. So there's huge opportunity there. Fintech, again, is a rapidly growing sector. And now the Jan Dhan Yojana, which is kind of the initiated almost 5 years back by the Prime Minister of India, that and asking to bank to go to door and to help to people to open the bank account and bring them on these mainstream. And that is also normally happening through the technology and to the online through the online transactions. And because the digital technology and fintech are growing, and that has created the huge risk in for cybersecurity, and automatically this sector is also going same time. Tourism, yes, at the moment there is a big setup. There's nothing happening from the Indian coming to UK or UK going to India. But I think once the things will get settled, I think we all looking for this sector will flourish as well at the same time. Education sector, last year was the best year, as I would say, for the education for UK's education sector, because the UK government, the announced the postgraduate the visa system, and that attracted Indian student coming to UK significantly last year. And in fact it increased by 3 times more. And there's a lot many universities, Indian students are coming to UK now, but suddenly because of this pandemic there is a halt. But it will continue to grow, this sector. And our universities are also preparing for creating the digital platform to engage with Indian students. So how to engage with Indian market? So India is a huge market, but and is very diverse, and some way it's complex. So I would say it's very easy to get lost unless and until you have the right structure and right approach. So that's why it's very important to develop the structure before engaging with this market. The first step would be the market exploratory stage, to understand the market, have a helicopter view and see how the market is look like for your product and your services, and within India, where is the market for you. Then market entry, to find the right partner on the ground who can help you, or if you want to merger or acquisition, or you want to identify the suppliers. So you need to develop on the basis of market analysis, you need to develop your strategy, how to enter into this market. Then there is the market investment stage. You're already in India, but you want to expand. Then where do you, how you can, which are the areas you should engage? Which are the states are giving more benefits, or which is infrastructure ready states where you can get the available infrastructure for your services and products. And then market expansion stage will come. Then you need to identify the investors and the merger and acquisitions. And other than that is a government projects. So UK IBC, which is we are the strategic advisory, the organizations in non-profit organizations, and we are supporting and working very closely with the Department for International Trade, British Chamber of Commerce, like how we are closely engaged with the Hertfordshire Chamber of Commerce, and we are supporting businesses to engage with India and helping them as kind of giving the handholding exercise to help them at every stage to engage with India successfully. So that we can support through the market intelligence, strategic roadmap, then tactical business support, carrying out the project management, then business to government consultancy. So I would say that it's not about what we offer, it's all about what you need to be enter or be successful in India, and we can provide that bespoke support to you. So in the because of this pandemic, we analyze and we discuss with different businesses to understand what is the situation, and these are the four the key areas we came to know. Is that new market entry and expansion plans on hold, because they are now consolidating their own business and they're focusing on their existing business at first. Their key challenge to deal is business continuities, because nobody knows when these things will get over and how they can continue to grow, and the look for the different areas and different avenues for the international market, or to generate the revenue from different areas. There's tight control on cash, and that's why, because now as I said, that most of the businesses are going through the tough time, and that's why they need more support from us than ever. So we from the UK India Business Council, we have taken very as I said, the bespoke approach and case by case basis to discuss with the businesses and providing the different support and different levels. The first is kind of a diagnostic to understand your business and what are the options available. If you're already engaged in India and if still things are not moving, then we can help you to get the things done from the support on the ground. Since we have offices across India and the staff on the ground working from there to help you out, then we can assess the what to measure the situation with the options, and then we can then mitigate those options and help you out to find the right solutions. At the same time, we can also help you to how you can set up a map of what to look ahead for over the 5 years or 10 years period of time. So these are the services. Now, the as I mentioned to you before, that the Indian government has announced the campaign almost 5 years back, Make in India. And under this campaign, the High Commission of India, London, have initiated the program called Access India program. And UK India Business Council is working as a knowledge partner with them. Under this program, we recruit 50 companies every year for last 2 years and providing the free support to those companies. The, mainly they are looking for the companies in the manufacturing and the advanced engineering, but if there is a more the other, but they are taking the case by case basis to understand their requirement and how important this platform will be for them. So we recruiting the 25 or 50 companies, and they train them, providing the workshops, and also just help to reduce the red tape if they are already engaged with the any Indian government, the programs or the organizations, or if they want to reach out to the different department of ministers, so we can help them through this program. And at the same time, there's a lot of the government support is available. Then the industry, the leaders are the mentoring to those SMEs and to make them ready to engage with India. So many support is available, but if you are interested and you think that this is the right platform for you, please do drop me a line, and I'll happy to engage with you Indian High Commission, and then you can at the end they will take the decision whom to recruit, but we can definitely guide you through and help you to put forward your strong case. So that is for me about the just a few information about what's happening in India, how we should engage with India, and where are the key opportunities are. But if, as I said, that I would like to repeat it, that this is not limited. So if even though you have got any specific product or services and you want to explore that whether this opportunity is there. And apart from this, we are also have signed the MOUs with the Amazon India. So if you want to explore the opportunity of the e-commerce, you want to test this platform, then we are happy to engage with you them. We have got the dedicated personnel who is engaging with the UK businesses and the Amazon India, and help them to provide this platform. So that's it for me. I would be more than happy to take any of your questions. Thank you so much.
Siddharth, thank you so much indeed. And you were dead right. You said 30 minutes, and you're spot on. So that's fantastic. I can't believe you've covered the whole of India in about 30 minutes. It's a huge subject. Thank you again, as that's really, really insightful. As Siddharth said, we're now open to questions and for Siddharth to respond to. Over to the participants, the listeners, please fire away with any questions that you've got. Anybody got? Yeah, Luke.
Yeah, hiya. So thanks so much for that. That was really, really interesting. It's I was really interested about some of the stuff you mentioned about e-commerce, and I was wondering if I could ask us a couple of questions about that, because that was sort of the Amazon sort of presence in India was suggested to me as something that's actually quite massive. So I was wondering, is Amazon new to India, or has it been there quite a long time? I know in Australia it sort of only got set up in 2017, but is it quite well established?
Yeah, Amazon India is well established now. It's almost in India for almost 4 and 5 years, and they are the #1 e-commerce platform. Oh, wow. So they have adapted the Indian environment. Because sometimes most of the Amazon like the cash on delivery, which is not available in UK, but Amazon India is providing that facility in India because of the cultural aspect and other things. So they are doing really they taken over quickly since last 4 and 5 years. They are the leading the e-commerce platform.
Excellent, thank you. And my only other question then was with regards to the entertainment sector, is that sort of primarily, would you say, I don't know if that's sort of changed in sort of recent years. So we're a games company. So I was wondering if, from your perspective, you thought sort of that there was a market for that there, or whether you know, it's more sort of video games, or whether it's board games or something like that. I don't know if that's quite specific to me, I suppose, but
It is a huge market. We are working very closely we have created the advisory group for the gaming and sporting, the sport betting as well.
Mhm.
And there's a huge opportunity because if you remember, I mentioned that the smartphone users in India has increased significantly.
Yeah.
They are around 450 millions, and total mobile users in India is around 900 millions. So now the smartphone users are also increasing here. So that's why and a lot of youth, young people. So you can say that is an obvious choice for the video games. But I think there's a great opportunity for the gaming sector as well. I could say that. If you want, I will happy to share with you, if you can share with me email address.
yes,
I
that'd be
believe
great.
that we have created the report as well on
Oh.
this gaming system, so I can share with you.
I'll drop you an email after this then. Thank you very much.
That will be good.
Thanks.
No problem.
Luke, thank you. Good questions. Hope that is setting you on the road to doing something in India, which would be great. Anybody else? Anything for Siddharth when you have this expert sitting in front of us? Very knowledgeable man. Okay, not the moment. Perhaps when people are thinking a few questions, Siddharth, if I can just ask, very, very struck, and I suppose we're so focused on the UK with the vaccines at the moment and getting, you know, the stuff in our arms, etc. Really struck with your numbers. I mean, 1.37 billion, which of course I knew was your population, but you've got to double that for everyone to get 2 doses of the vaccine. I mean, that is
Yeah.
what more can I say? I mean, surely people, I mean, we're talking realistically for this country, and I don't want to be depressive, but early in the new year, before everybody can be jabbed at the earliest, for India, there's got to be a 3-year program, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Sorry.
it's absolutely, it's still a long way to go, but I think they have taken very quick actions to get the things done. About even for the lockdown and other aspect, they have to control that such a population, which dense population, is very, very challenging. Very challenging. And so far, they managed really well, honestly speaking, even despite that high number.
And of course, that, you know, going onto your slide, you know, about the number of students, etc., more expected to come. Sadly, because of that, that's going to have a knock-on effect, you know, because, you know, with students, I don't know, but will students be allowed in from India and other countries unless they've got their certificates saying they've been vaccinated? I don't know. I don't know how it's going to affect that at all. It's quite a worry, really.
Yeah, but I think the good thing, John, is that all our UK universities has created now. They have taken this as a challenge, and they created, because we are working very closely with the universities, and there's lot many universities are working on our Launchpad platform. So the Launchpad platform is we're hiring the consultant on behalf of the UK businesses or the universities, and they now engage on the ground with the students for the recruitment or marketing and other aspects. So they have created an online platform. They are keeping the things ready, so that once the things get normalized, then the students will start coming to UK, probably second part of this year or early next year. So it's not only the short term, but it's kind of a long term planning. And I think the Indian students always love to the British education system, and they love to come to here. And there's always been the UK within the first preference. But because their visa issue almost 2 years back, that's why they were just stopped coming to UK, and they were instead they were going somewhere else. But now they're coming back to UK, which is a really good news for us.
Okay, no, excellent. So I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but I think, James, you're with the Herts University, and I know you've got links to India, etc. Did you want to say anything at this stage at all, or not? Entirely up to you. If you don't want to, I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but I'll let you have a ponder on that one anyway, okay, if you like. Yeah, another thought of mine. I've never actually worked on the trade side in India. I've been out there for work in previous life. A couple of times I've visited, many times. Love India. But I'm very struck, and people have always told me that the states in India 27 are all very different. They have different rules, different regulations. Well, I know you said you've got offices dotted around the country. Is that myth story right, that there are a lot of differences between states?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, that many countries in one country. I mean it. There's the different states have different business culture, the different way of working. But as far as the regulations and the taxation are confirmed. So if you remember that India has now got introduced one tax across country. So before 2016, every state had their own tax system, but now they have consolidated. And now, since 2016, they have introduced a goods and services tax bill. So it's almost similar to VAT. So one tax across the country. So now, initially that before 2016, if you want to sell the product or services to Mumbai or Delhi, they could have been different prices. But now it doesn't matter. It's the same price across the country. And that also is normally is around 18% maximum. The services and products fall in that category. So the regulation is coming very centralized. A lot many things. Yes, there are state has got some say according to the product and services, but most of the things are, as far as the regulations and compliances become standardized. But as a business culture and the way of working and the language I won't say is the issue, because India is the second largest English speaking country in the world after US. But if you the metropolitan, most of the people are speaking in English, and that is a business language. But if you go to the local rural area, then there's the local language comes in the picture. But I won't worry about that at all, and that's a good thing about India, that you don't have to change anything. You don't have to change the language for your website or for product or for your packaging. You have to just keep as it is.
Yeah. Yes, I was going to mention English is so widely spoken there, unlike e.g. China, where you'd have to really, look at it all. It is a huge advantage. So thanks for that. James has come up on the chat, so I certainly don't want to embarrass you at all or anything. But did you? Because you said you couldn't unmute in time. Do you want to come in now and ask your question of Siddharth?
Sorry about that, Siddharth. I wasn't quick enough on the unmute button there. Yeah. So we've actually. Hi, Siddharth. We've actually seen the biggest increase in numbers from India ever this year, and this January was our biggest ever intake for January. Now, the thing that we're a little bit concerned about is that we weren't up against Australia, the US, because they stopped taking international students for those intakes. How do you see that playing out for September 2021 and January 2022?
I think it's just is a small. I think it's a temporary things. But when I'm talking to because we have got the regular engagement with universities, we have set up the advisory group for different universities, and I would love to have the Hertfordshire University as well there. And we are also discussing with the Indian government, HRD ministry, and the students. And I think they are all waiting to get over these things so that they can. I still think that the numbers coming to UK will continue to grow further, and I expect that. But I think because now there's a lot of mixed messages are going about, because now we are under the lockdown, and India was not doing so well till in last year towards the end. So unless until once the things get settled, I think we'll see the large number of inflows coming to the student inflows coming to UK. And that's the message also we are getting from across the stakeholders.
Thank you. Just further to that though, obviously Mr. Trump is leaving office very shortly, kicking and screaming. But we've still got Brexit. So how do you think that's going to play out in the sort of coming 3 to 5 years?
Honestly speaking, just to give the brief idea that when this Brexit happened, and we just carried out the survey across the businesses, not about the universities, but across the business and universities, and we asked that the Indian businesses, particularly because there are Indian businesses coming to UK increased significantly in last 3 years. So there are almost 800, more than 800 UK Indian businesses are in UK. And we asked them that why they are coming to UK. Is this kind of gateway to Europe, or they particularly specifically came to UK? 75% of them, they thought that they just came specifically for UK, not for Europe. So which is, Indians, I think, honestly speaking, they don't bother what's happening around with the Brexit or other thing. They just wanted to say that what is the good things for their as a business. And I see there is a kind of, they see the kind of very, the partnership between UK and India. India has got a very large talent pool, but at the same time, UK has got the technology and know-hows, and that the combination is really good to develop the business. So I won't see any difference whatsoever, honestly speaking, James.
All right, thank you very much. That's reassuring to know. Thank you very much. I think there was quite a big concern that with Trump leaving and the US opening up, that that we were going to lose a fair market share to them in sort of the coming years. But thank you for your advice on that.
So you're welcome, James.
Thanks, James. Brilliant. Thank you. Anybody else? We've still got about 10 minutes or so. Anybody else? Burning questions? Again, while maybe you're thinking about that, I'll very structured up again, back to your slides, but you mentioned some GDP down 7.7 this year, but expecting to grow to 8% next year. I mean, my maths, 15, 16%, huge swing to get back up to north, then into the positive again. Yeah. With the pandemic, which we can't ignore. Yes, the middle class is spending more, but in this country, people aren't spending so much at the moment for obvious reasons. Why is the Indian government so positive that there will be such a huge upswing again next year?
Yeah, the reason is that not only Indian government, even the IMF is also predicting that way. The reason is that now the businesses across the globe, they have to realize that not to keep all eggs in one basket. Because and that's why they now, China was many of the companies, they will continue, hopefully. Some of them are leaving as well. Most of them have left and they came to they went to India or East Asian countries, Southeast Asia countries. And now that it will continue to grow because and the alternative market after the China, they're thinking that India is a bright spot and they can look into this country for the engagement. And at the same time, Indian government is creating the environment to help those companies to engage coming to India. And that's the reason you can see the foreign direct investment in coming to India is increasing significantly. And they are on their target. So their target is around 75 billion by 2025. They are already 51 last year. Wow. So the kind of things are moving ahead in that direction. And now I'm talking to the different businesses in India, and they are doing really well, surprisingly, in this environment. They are so busy, even car manufacturer and other areas, and they are very busy, and many businesses are coming to their way. And apart from the Brexit as well, after the Brexit, many now UK businesses as well, now in thinking India is a very strategic market. They have widened their horizon. Now look into that, see, okay, now Europe is, if nothing happened, then where we should go? Now it's obvious choice, honestly speaking, the country who is growing so fast and so rapidly and creating the opportunities in one go. Obvious choice. So that's why now there's more and more businesses are going. In fact, Boris Johnson was supposed to go to India this month but because of the pandemic, he had to cancel. Even Foreign Secretary was in India in last month. So many minister engagement is happening around with India because they see that foresee that there's a lot of opportunities going to be created.
No, brilliant. No, as you say, shame our Prime Minister couldn't make it, but for obvious reasons it was cancelled. But I think that would have been a really good advertising boost, actually. Brilliant, thank you. Anybody else at all on the call? And again, sort of picking up your point, I know speaking to a lot of our exporters in Herts, they echoed the words you said, that they're all quite, well, in fact, very busy. Some have even done better during the pandemic than they were before, amazingly. And of course, we must remember the companies that aren't in the right sectors at the moment, and unfortunately are struggling, which there are a few of those. Does anybody, any of the exporters on the call, there's a couple, any questions, any thoughts? Has it made you rethink your India strategy? Think, oh yes, okay, or any reasons why you now look at the market, or not? Golden opportunity. Okay, nothing coming in. Okay, Siddharth, thank you so much for the last 30-minute presentation, last 50 minutes or so. Really, I thought I knew a bit about India, but I learned an awful lot more from those slides. I'll, just as they do on the auction halls, throw it open one more time before I bang the hammer down. Any more questions, or we'll say thank you and have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Yeah, and I just have last one. So like to say that thank you all for joining us. If you have got any question after the session, just please drop me a line to me or to John or Alison, and they will forward those queries to me, and I'll happy to talk to you in one-to-one session, and we can discuss how we can support you. Brilliant.
Thank you. Well summarized. Okay, well, if nobody has got anything more, thank you again, all of you, for your time, and we'll see you in Hertfordshire at some stage, I hope in the not too distant future. Thanks ever so much indeed. All the best. Have a good day, everyone.